Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Break Room Podcast. It's only me today because I'm sick and didn't want to get Corey sick, which is why I have Black Betty here. In place of Corey, I'm going to do a little bit of jamming. So let's just jump right into the podcast, I guess. As far as music goes, don't really have a lot of music news, haven't been really looking into it, but I will say that I'm planning on building my own guitar. Not exactly sure what body shape I want to do, but I know that I'm just going to buy a neck online, I'm going to buy wood from Home Depot, I'm going to buy all the little bits and bobs I need, like tuners and stuff, online as well. And I'm going to go with active pickups this time because I've never actually used them, but I do want to use them, and I think that would be a really fun project. So basically all I'm doing is building the body and putting things together. As far as bands I've been listening to, it's hard to think of just one for a band spotlight, but I think I'm going to have to go with Vocaloid, although it's not really a band. Vocaloid is essentially a vocal synthesizer that people make music with. If you've ever heard of Hatsune Miku, that is Vocaloid. A person I recommend to look up on YouTube is Voca Circus. They make some of my favorite Vocaloid songs, both I think in English and Japanese. I really enjoy their work, and I think that if you have the time, you should definitely check out Vocaloid. It could be worthwhile. I think I got into them right around my senior year of high school, so just last year in 2015. Started listening to them because I was curious and fell in love with a couple songs and couldn't really find much, and then it started to become easier for me to find when I started looking for English stuff. Some of my favorites are Rolling Girl, Hatsune Miku, Fake Fake Psychotropic, Gumi, Wildfire Gumi, Echo Gumi with Kato. At least that version is the one I like. Addicted, which is Miku. Shut up, phone. I really enjoy listening to it. It's a lot of great music. If you have the time, look into them. I've also been listening to a lot of Panic at the Disco recently. Like I said, when we had Ryan on a couple episodes back. Another thing of music info is my old bass that I've never actually shown on the channel. I gave that back to Corey recently. It used to be his, and he was gonna trade it for, I think, an Xbox One or something. I can't really remember, but I said, look, my bass, I don't really want it, and I want you to keep your bass, so I will take your bass and trade for mine. You can sell mine and get your dumb thing. And so I had his bass for a good, probably around about a year by now. I can't really remember. But yeah, so I gave that back to him because he had at least been in talks to get an amp from a friend. And so that's really cool, except for the fact that I'm trying to write a theme song for the channel and have no bass, so I'll probably have to ask him if I can borrow his. That's it for music, but as for gaming, again, haven't really been paying attention to the news as far as gaming is concerned, but I will say that I'm having a lot of fun trying to record videos. As you can tell, my Bad Company 2 video was really, really blocky and pixelated, and I was having that issue with my Battlefield 3 video that I just put up. It'll be in the description box below. I was having that issue when I was rendering it, and I couldn't quite figure out what was going wrong. Because I know that my recording settings were fine, the actual raw footage looked great, looked crisp, looked clear, it was nice. But every single time that I rendered it, no matter what settings I dialed in, it always looked blocky and pixelated. turns out because Shadowplay, the thing I record with, records at 50 megabit or 50 million bits of the video per second. Every time I tried to render, I was setting it to render a tenth of that, so 5 million bits per second. And that's why it was looking so blocky. Turns out that's fine for my crappy webcam on my laptop, not so much for high quality HD video recorded on Battlefield 3. So, learned my lesson, rendered it out on my brother's computer, which was much more powerful, and I'm going to have to talk to Corey about scheduling things, because if I'm having to spend 5 hours rendering a 5-minute video, then going to need to not upload it in between days like I've been doing. Another thing in terms of gaming is I'm looking to do a Let's Play on the channel. Not going to say much, I'm just going to say that it's going to be a Let's Play, it's going to be infuriating, it's going to be a game I'm going to need a walkthrough to play. Other than that, I'm not saying anything else. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it, and I hope you guys do as well. And I think that brings us to my week. My week hasn't really been eventful. Told you the story of trying to render out Battlefield 3. Other than that, my family has been really sick with a really bad cold for the last about month or so, and I finally caught it yesterday, and it hit me really bad this morning. It's about 1:05 right now. I've been up since about 9, and most of that time I've just been sat in bed. That's why I'm still in my robe. The reason I was in my robe in the vermilion cover is because I'm lazy, but I'm in the robe now because I'm sick and I don't really feel like it. So that's been that. I'm also planning on going down to go see my girlfriend next week, so I might not be able to be in the podcast, or I'll have to pre-record the podcast. So we'll see about that. I'll be in touch with Corey on that, so that you guys can hopefully have a great podcast to listen to for next week. And I think that brings us to my jam session. So let me just sync the audio.